How's it going, everybody? I have a couple of interesting things that I want to talk to everybody about. And let's just start this off by I'll just start this off by saying that I was watching the video I did yesterday, the one that's up on YouTube now. In the entire video, I have my hands all over the place. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and all I can think about is how much, how much fun my dad's going to have watching this video. Parents can be a little bit, everybody knows how parents can be. They can be a little bit stickly about these things, etiquettes, and it's something that me and my dad have been going on over for a while. So that was a good experience to watch back. But yeah, video on ACL today. What I want to talk to everybody about is what's been going on. Right, we have this whole season coming, and I have a few thoughts on my mind that and I would like to let's just get to expressing those thoughts. So, last couple of days, it started raining now, like really pouring down rain now, and right around the time in the morning, 5:45 a.m. when we meet for our first class, it's just this storm of a it's a whole storm that's going on outside. Like, it's just pelting down rain. And obviously our training sessions have taken a hit, right? We train outside, so if you look at our learning environment, if you look at our space and things that we have access to right around, using the tools using which we are building our fitness, all of those tools have been rendered useless. We can't use the swings, we can't use the slides, bars and everything, right? Very slippery. The risk of unnecessary injury just increases there. And we have kids that we have to take care of, we have people we have to take care of, so we can't do that anymore. So, but on the other hand, so I've been in this dilemma, right? I've been in this fix because I know the vision behind these classes, these sessions that we do, and I would like for them to be build up to something, but then I'm here thinking that if the training system fails, right, the training experience, which is like the product that I'm developing, if that fails at the first obstacle just because of a season change, then then that's a little problematic, right? You have this grand vision for a thing, and it is failing at this obstacle. This is the limit. This is where it's reaching a limit, right? And after which it doesn't make sense. So what do you do? And a couple of days went by, right? I've had to cancel classes. I've had to I did not show up for a few classes, because as much as it is like a real problem that you're dealing with, it's also this mental issue that you're dealing with, right? Like, what do we do going ahead from here? And this is like our first year as a training group going into this season. And what I want to talk to everybody about is the solution that I built up for this, because that's in spirit with everything that I talk about. That's how you can deduce problems down to fundamentals. You can build solutions, and you can iterate your way forward. You can make incremental progress and get going at any task that's in front of you. So the problem here is that my training system was failing because of a major constraint, and that's range, right? Is that our primary learning environment has been compromised. So the first thing that I did was that I detached the fact that the training environment is compromised from the narrative that it's not possible to train outside anymore, or this is the limits of outdoor training, and beyond this point you either have to be lucky enough to have a place where you train, or you just accept that this is the limit. But keeping in spirit with what we talk about, we consider human as non-linear complex entities, and one of the major characteristics of such systems, such non-linear systems that behave in a non-linear fashion, in a self-organized manner, these complex systems such as human beings, right? These systems usually adapt on the brink of chaos. Whenever there's a chaotic element, whenever there's a problem that needs to be solved, the system will self-organize around it, and it will find a solution. And that's what humans do. We adapt on the brink of chaos, right? So, and this training system as well, it's like a complex system that I've developed. It's a framework for growth and progress for other people, where people can come in, they can experience, they can grow, and they can build, right? And it was at jeopardy because we had, as this training system had faced a major obstacle, and that's that our primary learning environment is compromised. But if we keep in spirit with our training, and if we keep in spirit with what we talk about, this training system has to be adaptive as well. So what I did, I took a couple of days, and what I did is I got down to typing down a memo. I started typing a memo, a set of guidelines, and I put forward a letter for all my members, all the people that I train with, right? Talking about how we are going to go through a massive overhaul in our training structure, right? We have to be adaptive as a community, training community, as a group of people. The training system has to be adaptive, and as we move forward into the monsoon season, we just see the problems that need to be solved, and we solve them. We make our way around them, and we keep doing what we do. So I detached the fact that the training system, main training area is compromised, right? Because I can always, when you address it as it's just a training, the core issue is that the primary training environment is compromised, and that can be solved by just find where you can train, find somewhere you can train, build a new training environment, right? And it's not a compromise if you do that, because you just understand that everything comes with its pros and cons. If our primary training environment right now had a few pros going for it, it had a few cons as well. Similarly, when we find this new environment, taking into account what all is available to us, which we have, right, which is what I'm going to talk to you guys about, once that happens, that will have a set of pros and cons as well. So heading into the monsoon, you can't be doing parks because parks are rendered useless. You can't be doing roads because roads were unsafe to begin with, and the monsoon just adds a little bit more chaos to it. So roads are not really safe. That's taking on unnecessary risk. But what we do have available to us, if you're somebody who's in Kharghar or in and around Kharghar, is a range of beautiful trails. It's the secluded, almost serene, sacred area where there's just no disturbance. You're in the lap of nature, right? You've got multiple places to trek and hike. You've got a lot of trails on which you can run on and do different activities, right? Orienteering activities and all kinds of things, right? And you've got inclined roads, you've got empty roads which you can sprint on. You've got ample area to jump. If you're being a little bit more subjective, we have a lot of small equipment that can be used irrespective of wherever we're training, right? So I get started with building this new training environment, taking into all these things into account, right? And taking into account what other equipment can be used, what other tools that we have that can be used in this context, right? And I've put down in the guidelines that we have adapted as a training system, and we will head forward into this monsoon. We'll keep a few things in mind. We'll prepare for the worst, we'll hope for the best, and we'll have a framework with which we are approaching everything. So I've had to take a look at our training as well. Whatever is essential has to happen, and turns out whatever essential has to happen to sustain our bodies that's doing all this work, breaking on all these challenges that we do, and we do a bunch of stuff in training, right? We do a bunch of layer 1, layer 2 activities in training, and so to do all of those activities, there is a certain amount of maintenance work that needs to go in, right? Lots of joint movements, lots of isometrics, lots of plyometrics, lots of relative strength training, and all of these things. These things can go on irrespective of our primary training space being compromised, right? We'll just not be able to do a set of things that were afforded to us just because of how swings are made, how those bars are made, right? And that those are the set of things that we can't do, but there's a lot else that we can do. So that's how we have adapted, that's how the training system has adapted, and that's what I've put down in the in the memo that I've sent out. I've named it Monsoon Season Training Essentials, and it's been sent out to all the members, my training cohort, people that I train with. And this is what's been going on with the training system. So heading into the monsoon, it's going to be very cardio heavy. We're going to be doing a lot of running activities. We're going to be doing a lot of outdoor adventure based activities, right? We have beautiful riverbed here, right? It feels heavenly to go and relax there after training, right? It's a beautiful experience, right? We've put down, it's not that, I'm not, again, just to say, for people that might think that this is what's going on, I am not saying that you guys need to get out of gyms and you need to come out and train. All I'm saying is things are not as binary as body weight training in the park or weight training in the gym. These are just training environments, right, that you are using. You can build a training environment around you. If you do not have access to gyms, it doesn't matter, right? becoming fitter and having a certain kind of training experience is not correlated, right? If you need that perfect of an environment to grow and train and adapt, then you're not really adapting, you're just getting yourself accommodated to a certain kind of experience, right? Everything has to be adaptive. Training environments as well, your training ability as well. So that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying get out of gyms and gyms are useless. If you have gyms, gyms are great, right? We train in gyms as well. A lot of people that I work with train in gyms as well. It's about what we are doing with my own personal group of people that I would train outdoors with, because that's what I love doing. And what's been going on with that system. Another pro, by the way, of doing this is that earlier, before hitting the rainy season, and this is as a training group, we're really just entering the rainy season for the first time. We're witnessing this for the first time, and a con of doing outdoor session in the park, strength training in the park, was that at a time I was only able to accommodate like 5 to 7 people at most. My sweet spot was 3 people at once in a session, right? That's what I would do if I was training in a gym. I would do 3 people at most, because I do not really think that you know a single person will demand all of that time, all of my time. So I can definitely do more than one person at once. And I also think that I can give an equal amount, an intricate amount of personal attention to everything that's going on if it's 3 people training with me. But I can definitely thrive with 5 people as well, and 7 is where my limit lies. So that was a major con of strength training in the park, that I would never be able to do it beyond 7 people. That's why I would never invite other people to train, right? If I have 7 people training with me in a couple of batches, I was good with that. That's all that I was willing to do with this, right? Understand that it might sound very counterintuitive, but it's just about selling criteria, right? People in the fitness industry are running around different selling criterias. For the most part, for a lot of people, it's just about slashing the prices of the product that you're delivering to people, and having as many people as you can buy the product, right? That's the main competition that's going on. It's selling criteria that's going on. People are running behind the minimum selling price. On the one hand, you've got all kinds of 500 rupee, 1200 rupee subscriptions for 2 month, 3 month programs going out with zero nuance, with zero, I would even say zero, the only reason why those things work is because a lot of people trying those things are doing fitness for the first time, and that's when the adaptations are exponential. That's why people in their first year of training they can just do anything, and that will transfer over to everything. They'll grow in every aspect. That lasts for a short period of time, and these people are able to target these people and sell their products. And if they make some kind of progress, that's the only reason why they're making this progress, because you cannot have a program as general as that. As far as I know right now, all the programs that exist right now cannot be as general as they are, and have any amount of nuance that's required for individuals to grow, really adapt and grow in their health and fitness and athleticism. So on one side, you've got people competing behind this selling criteria. They're going behind the minimum selling price. And then on the other hand, you've got people that realize that I might know something that these people do not. I might have a set of skills or a set of knowledge points that these people do not, right? And they think that they demand a really high value for that. And then on the other hand, you've got these high ticket sellers that just because they have a certain amount of knowledge that they deem is the best in the industry, right? Because it's very easy to see 10 people doing things that are going wrong, that that they are doing wrong, and think that more than everybody else, right? And then you go ahead and create a course, sell it for 20,000 bucks, 50,000 bucks, create an academy out of it, do this high ticket selling model, and just make your money, right? But understand that more than anything, if you have any amount of knowledge, that's more than anybody, and it's very easy to find something that that somebody else doesn't. All you have to do is you have to do the targeting correctly, and you will convert a couple of people, and that's all you need to do, right? A handful of people, you will convert a handful of people. And when you are selling things that's for a higher price point, that's all you need to do. You need to be really good at targeting. You need to have a really strong narrative, and you convert those few people, a set of people, to 20 people, 300 people, and you're good to go, because you're selling a high ticket product. So on one hand, you've got people going behind volume and slashing the minimum price. On one hand, you've got people exploiting that market and gating their information and selling high ticket product, making bank and just getting out. right? But for me, the selling criteria for my program, it's neither this nor that. I'm not behind numbers. I'm not behind making a lot of money just because I know something that other people might not know. I do not want to gate that content. For me, it's just about for more than anything, I just want to build a few communities here and there because that's what I love doing, right? That's why I started doing this, and and I want to ensure that there's a certain amount of quality that I can maintain, that I can possess over that entire process, which I will not be able to do if I come up with a generic ass product and I sell it and I go behind the minimum selling price. Excuse me. And I'll be stressed about the kind of information that I'm giving out if I'm charging a really high value for it, right? That just increases a lot of liability on your head. For more than anything, I'm just trying to build a community of people that can actually grow and can keep doing things that we have been doing for all this while, right? Our training is that slow hitting training that will not definitely, it doesn't give you 60-day to 30-day results, but 2 years down the line you just realize that the amount of progress that you've made, it compounds over time. This is like compound interest, and I'm not going behind a program that works like simple interest. You're not going to get proportional returns, right? When you do it initially, you do not really feel anything. Couple of years down the line, all your fitness compounds and you realize what a monster you have become, right? And if any of you, if any of you is thinking that a cardio based training is not for you, then let me tell you that your muscle, for 99% of you, if you're not really professionally, you know, bought into the narrative of bodybuilding, then it really doesn't matter. You're not going to lose any amount of muscle. What will happen, what might happen if you have a lot of muscle and you start, coming for these sessions, which you definitely can do along with the strength workouts that you do later on in your gym or wherever you are, right? Just talking to people that are in and around Kharghar, right? If you want to come join these sessions, the most that will happen is that you will become a beast. You will become a beast that's muscular, but that can also shred hills, run long distances, sprint really hard, be really able in expressing their force, and be this robust person, right? That's what is going to happen. You're not going to lose any amount of muscle. And if you're worrying about losing muscle, if you're professionally attached to a sport, then I would just say that be professionally attached to your sport. Let that be on the schedule. Let that be your focus, and then this is probably not for you. I would go as far as saying that even for those people, experiencing training like this is useful as well, because there's something to do for everybody. It's not like everybody's just coming in and doing the same thing. I just because I have this community approach, I always cap it at a number that I think beyond which I won't be able to have the control over the quality of knowledge that I'm imparting that I would like to have. So I'm always putting a cap on the number of people that I'm interacting with within this community. And because I'm able to do that, I can always think about the individual needs of every single person, and I can will build the workouts around you. There will be something for everyone to do that's a member of this community, right? You're not going to be coming in and doing the same thing that everyone's doing and be at the risk of having your primary objectives compromised. So that's what I'm after. So if you're a part of this community or a part of this exclusive group, and one of the pros of heading into the monsoon season and going through this massive overhaul in my training structure is that now, because of what the kind of training that we're going to do now, I'll be able to accommodate a lot more people than I was able to when I was doing strength training in the park. Because for that, I personally thought that 7 is my capacity, 3 is my sweet spot, and 5 is where I can thrive. That's the amount of people that I would interact with. But the nature of training that we are doing now, it has enabled me to interact with a lot more people. We can accommodate a lot more people within our system and still ensure some amount of quality. And that number is 20. 20 people is the cap that is where I'm putting the cap on this community. Going forward in this monsoon season, I'm expanding my training group, and right now there's like 7 of us, and we're looking for 14 more people to join. If you're a part of this community, first of all, right, if all of this makes sense to you, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send you guys the exact memo that I sent, that all the members received in this community in the training group, right? And you can go over the memo. It's got guidelines with a little bit more detail as to what you can expect, where we are coming from, and what you can expect out of training and what it means and what's required of you if you know, there's a there's a certain uh, there are certain standards to which I'm going to hold every single member accountable, right? And that's been discussed in the memo as well. So if all of this sounds appealing to you, if you're in and around Khargar, and if you would like to, be a part of this community, which is only being opened up like this for the first time ever, after the monsoons are done, we're probably going to go back to the park structure, or we're going to solve this problem in a different way. It's only in this monsoon season that we're doing training like this, right? And if you want to be a part of this community, if that's something that you would like to try out, if you think you're a good fit for this, the first job I have for you guys is go and check out this memo, read everything that's on there, and it'll give you a little bit more detail as to what you can expect. And then if this makes sense to you, you can just reach out to me, apply, and then we can take this forward, right? I can let you guys in on whether there's spots left in the community or not, and it's just complete 110% transparency, right? This is not one of those schemes where I say there's 2 spots left. I'm being really honest about what's been going on so far and where we are going forward with this. We have 7 people training. We are looking for 14 more people, but not one more person beyond that, right? And because that's where I think the point lies, where I won't be able to have the amount of control that I want over the quality of these sessions. And it's only going to last for these monsoons. So if that sounds interesting to you, all you got to do is do the work, go and check out the memo. It's linked in this video, right? Download the memo, read the PDF, read the guidelines going forward in this monsoon season. And if you think you're a right fit for this community, reach out to me and we'll work our way forward, right? And if you do not want to do any of these things, right, and if you feel like you do not really need this experience, but you still would want to train in monsoon and have some kind of structure, then I have a really good product, right? And that's again with that product as well, and that's the aerobic animal product that's linked down in this video as well. And that product, I personally think, is, as I build on that product, it's still very much in its nascent phases. That's why it's priced so low. The reason why I'm pricing a fitness product that low is not because I'm going after the minimum selling price, because in that particular sphere where people are selling 5K and 10K training programs, the primary selling criteria that people are competing against is that they're just making it free. They're putting 5K 10K training programs up on their blogs. If you put down 5K 10K running program online, the first 10 links that you get are links to free blogs where you've got a 5K 10K training schedule for 7-8 weeks. But if you go and look, they're identical copies of each other, and they're just this running specific program that not a lot of people can do, because you're not really accounting for people that really do not want to run but still want to improve their endurance, still want to be a healthier, fitter version of yourself, all of which can be done if you have a good developed aerobic system, right, which is an intrinsic part of being an aerobic animal. That's what we are, right? Aerobic endurance is an essential part of having good health and good fitness, right? That's what we know. So people still want to get fit. Everybody should ideally get fit and healthy, but not everybody wants to run. So what do we do for them? Running is not going to be a good experience for everybody. So, and that's the problem that aerobic animal is solving. That's why I'm not here to compete for prizes, because every other program is free. That way mine is probably the most expensive 10K 5K training program that ever is. But the selling criteria that I am the best in, that this program is best in, that it is the most non-specific way for building endurance right from scratch, right from the ground of. Any single person can get in any one of get in on this program and do this program and build their endurance and aerobic fitness in a most non-specific way. You're not going to be running and running only. You have options to run, hike, swim, ride, and depending on what's available to you, you can do a different combination of these activities. And there's a variety of things that you will be doing through the 16 weeks. And no matter what amount of fitness that you're going into this program with, there are tools like nose breathing tips and guidelines that you can use to make these tasks challenging enough for yourself. And depending on what fitness level you're on and where you begin, you will be doing so many things, like your longest hike, some of the most grueling challenges that you will be able to do because you will have built up to that point, right? You'll start at wherever your fitness level is right now. You'll do 10Ks, you'll do 5Ks. That's what you'll build up to. You'll do your fastest runs, swims, hikes, bikes, everything. right? You're building up your endurance in the most non-specific way possible, and it's more than running. It's about what effect the program has on your fitness, right? Another problem that it solves is that a lot of people, when they get going with the running program, if all you do is just running, the chances of that running having an impact on your body that's not used to running is much more. You'll carry on a lot more fatigue because you're accumulating a lot of specific volume. But with the aerobic animal program, because you have this bunch of variety, spectrum of variety, that you're going, a variety of activities that you're doing through the week and through the months in the 16-week program, the specific volume that you accumulate is just very low in all activities. You're able to spread your effort across a bunch of variations, a bunch of variety of activities, and you end up growing your endurance, you end up improving your aerobic fitness, you end up doing the program, right? But it's with a lot less fatigue, it's with a lot less physical stress, and it's with a lot more engagement. It's much more engaging, right? So if you're, let's say you're not in and around Kharghar, and you would still, and the best part of aerobic endurance is you're developing your aerobic system. So it's not something that you have to invest a lot of time in or invest a lot of energy in. You can, if you're fit enough, you can run this program alongside your strength training program and realize improvements in your strength training program. Because guess what? A well developed aerobic foundation helps you with recovery. It helps you with the phosphagen system's recovery, and it helps you with, in general, recovering for you from your workouts. Having a well developed aerobic system is not just for endurance athletes, it's for every single person, right from the person that wants to, come out of a state of disease and into a state of health, for somebody that's just starting out their fitness and might want to do like a 5k, for an athlete that wants to, they're fit enough, they've been playing all their lives, and they would like to do something as challenging as a 10k, right up to people that have got nothing to do with aerobic endurance, but they would like to have a good well developed aerobic endurance so that they can be stronger, so that they can recover in whatever it is they are doing. So that way, I think it is a fantastic product, and that's why it's one of a kind. It's the best at what it is able to do, at the quality it's able to deliver. The best way to experience this, the most personalized way to experience this, having seemingly infinite contact and guidance and mentorship with me, is to come and train with me, right? We're heading into the monsoon. We have a massive overhaul in our training, and we're going to respect this aerobic animal structure and have everyone, achieve major milestones by the time monsoons are done, right? And have a lot of fun in the process, do a lot of activities, have all kinds of competitions, races, adventures, and everything. The best way to experience all of that is come train with me. If you're in and around Kharghar, it's one of the best training experiences you can have. We have adapted to the season. Our training program isn't rigid. We are not doing the same thing year round. We adapt on the go. And if you're not able to do that, you've got a couple of options available to you. You can buy the aerobic animal program. It's for $500. It's less than a weekend outing, right? And it's a 16-week program, and it's best at what it does. And if you're like the first 50 people buying this program, I have enough time on my hands to get on calls or get on texts or, correspond with you guys and solve any questions that you might have. That's just something that I'm going to offer right off the bat. So that's an option that's available to. And if you are willing to, if you want a certain amount of guidance and insight in your training process, you can always train online with me. Just as I have a community of a limited amount of people that I'm interacting with in person, I have a community of limited amount of people that I interact with online as well. You can join that as well. We can, break, and I'm going to hold you up to a certain level, certain standards as well, because there's going to be, I'm going to expect a few things out of you for that training to work. So we can figure all of that out. If that's something that you want to do, you can reach out to me as well. I'm going to set a process and space for people that want to avail that service as well. So these are three options that you have available to you. If you've been watching this video till this point, if this is something that makes sense to you, going forward you have three options. Come train with me, experience monsoon training with our training community, buy the aerobic animal program, get started at a very basic level, and guess what, you buy that program and you for all I care, pass it around to your friends, your family, have everyone do something that they can do. You'll find something to do for everybody. The week one is so basic that any single person that's been leading a sedentary lifestyle can do that program and start from week one and build up to a point where they're able to do things like finish a 5 kilometer distance or 10 kilometer distance. So, and if you know what to do that, if you want more personalized insight, mentorship, guidance on your own training context, get in touch with me, join my, see if we can, work online and we can take it from there. That's all I have for you guys today. Another 30-minute video. I'll see you guys soon.